Vikings win a thriller 36-28 tonight. Here's their head coach, Mike Zimmer.
You know, this is why I do this, because I want to play, and that's the kind of guy he is. So there was no doubt in his mind he was playing tonight.
When did you kind of start thinking during the week that you might have a chance of having him?
Well, they told me he was doing really, really well in his rehab, and I guess today's Thursday. I guess Tuesday they said there's a good chance, and then Wednesday they said they think he's good to go. Or Tuesday after practice, I think they said that.
There were some massive holes in the running game, especially in the first half. What did you see just from that part of the game?
I talked to our I talked to our whole team last night, but I told them, it's not good enough to stalemate. You get in there and you block a guy and you stalemate him. It's not good enough. We got to drive some guys off the ball. We did a really good job in the first half of getting guys removed off the line of scrimmage. The second half, they started taking an extra guy and putting him over the center and having their big guys in there. They got some stud, big defensive linemen that are good players, and that eliminated us to some extent. And we're at the end, we're trying to kind of control the game with the time clock, so we didn't really try to extend some of the outside plays.
In the fourth quarter, when you off the Cousins touchdown to Osborne, you go up 35.
Pardon me?
In the fourth quarter, the Cousins touchdown to Osborne, you go up 35-20. Was there any thought about going for two to make it a three-score game?
Yeah, we talked about it. We went for two last week twice and didn't get them. We haven't been very good this year in two-point plays. I knew that they had to get 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, and typically it's a 50-50 bargain there. So that was the thinking.
Did you enjoy it?
That's Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer after his team's 6th win of the season. Let's stay in the NFC and talk a little bit of Rams football.
You don't keep us on schedule.
2nd and 4 to 29. Stafford with time, a dart to Cup. Cup motors away, and Cup will coast into the end zone for the touchdown.
That was Cooper Kupp's 11th touchdown grab of the season last Sunday in the Rams' 37-7 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. It had been a while since he had tasted the end zone, but he got back in there in a big win for the Rams. Welcome back to Sportswrap after the Vikings hold off the Steelers late in that one, a game you saw earlier here on Fox 11. Mark Rogandino, Vince, Jackie, and Ron Pitts, the rest of my guys are here to break things down. We also have some Rams royalty in the house tonight. The offensive coordinator for the Rams Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 34, Coach Mike Martz, is here with us. Coach, I don't know if you saw the post-game interview by the Rams' top pass catcher, Cooper Kupp, after the game on Sunday this past week. But just in case you didn't, it was TV gold. Take a listen.
And then your touchdown specifically, your defender went and blitzed. What did you see there? How were you able to use that to your advantage?
Yeah, they just had a little 3-deep fire zone, brought the nickel off the edge, safety dropped down. It didn't look like they were doing a replacement fire zone, so I knew at the back away we were going to get 3 pushing through. I had an opportunity to kind of run in there if I could beat my guy, and just had to beat the safety to the end zone.
While that might be crystal clear to you, Coach Martz, what he's saying right there, it is a complete foreign language to me. And to hear a player break something down like that on national TV is something really rare, too. Hoping you can help us break it down. Let's get to the first part of Kupp's answer.
I think that he was talking about the fire zone. You got 3 guys going through there. They have to actually carry those receivers. And when he sees that happening, he knew that there's nobody to replace in there. There's going to be a home run for him. So once he saw the fire zone with 3 receivers going through, they have to turn and go with those receivers. And it's automatic for him. It's going to be an easy one.
See, that's a little more layman's term.
A little 3-deep fire zone, brought the nickel off the edge, safety dropped down.
All right, Vince.
Yeah.
So
Mike knows how to explain it. He puts it in a simple way to do it. That's where you have to understand. But this is only a 5-man rush. Hey, I would get around just rushing 4 guys, but Cooper Kupp, you don't leave him single covered. It's man-to-man on the outside. They don't have enough pressure on the quarterback. He sees the middle linebacker go away from him. He's got the entire middle of the field to work with. A lot of terminology used right there, Vince. So you get into the second part of his answer after he's already noticed what the safeties are saying. Take us through that part of things. Well, he saw the fire zone, which is the safety covering him, blitzed, and then the other safety, instead of going back, he came down to cover him man-on-man. Then also he saw the linebacker disappear. So it's just like, it's so funny to hear him say it like so fast. He sounds like Sean McVay, actually.
Yeah, listen.
It didn't look like they were doing a replacement fire zone, so I knew at the back away we were going to get 3 pushing through.
3 pushing through.
Yeah,
all right,
that means he's the third receiver. He's number 3, and he's pushing through the middle. So
well, which is interesting because you hear the way that they refer to the 3 receivers. He talks about the back coming out of the backfield to be accounted for. You don't necessarily know how they line. When I say 1 receiver, 2 receiver, I'm thinking Cooper Kupp is always the 1.
yeah, but in his alignment, he was the number 3 receiver there. That's it, because he's pushing the middle. But you know, he's sharp. This guy understands defenses, and he knows how to get open. I mean, look at this guy's the leading receiver in the NFL.
Well, you know the thing that amazes me? I keep saying this. You never see him take off full speed when the ball is snapped.
No, he didn't have to.
He's meandering off the ball 90% of the time, and then he hits the Jets right there, and he's running away from people to space.
All right, Ron, I'm not about to leave you out of this party right here. Let's listen to the final piece of the puzzle first.
I had an opportunity to kind of run in there if I could beat my guy and just had to beat the safety to the end zone.
All right, defensive back's perspective right here. Take us through it, Ron.
That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
See, that safety tried to play man-to-man coverage with no help inside, and he tried to play it with what we call outside leverage. You can't win. You can't win because he's got so much field to run away from you inside. I think they caught him in a disguise, and by the time the safety realized what was going on, it was too late. And that's one thing that Cooper Kupp really does well. He understands defenses on the fly, meaning while you're running. It's one thing to sit in a meeting room and, oh, yeah, that's this defense, that's that defense. But when the pieces start moving, the dynamic changes.
Yes, his 11th touchdown catch of the season was great, but the analysis from Cooper Kupp, vintage stuff as well.
I got to ask Mike a question. Mike, listen. You know, I sat in more meetings with you than anybody here, and certainly than many of the coaches that you had. And I remember watching you fill out all of those boards with all of those formations and all of those different plays and everything. And I'm sitting here and I'm marveling at Cooper Kupp and how smart he is. But you had a bunch of guys with the greatest show on turf. As I remember, you had a handful of guys that were really smart, made great decisions as you were teaching them to do that all the time.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about what that was like to have Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Marshall Faulk at your disposal.
Well, Marshall out of the backfield was a great option route. That was really an option route by Cooper there. You could see how he set him and paused a little bit, set him up before his cut. Azakim was remarkable at doing that. Ricky Prohl, Marshall Faulk, all 3 of those receivers inside, they're so afraid of the outside speed that we get doubled one side or the other. So we got all these great matchups inside of these 3 guys. And so we turn Ricky loose on these dodge routes when they're matched up with everybody else, and he get isolated on linebacker. And we just made a lot of money doing that.
Mike, let me throw this at you now. That game we saw tonight, okay, and you can see the Vikings